Undercover cops, what is the craziest thing you had to go through to keep your cover? My cousin was an undercover agent and they were trying to bust some guys for illegal alcohol distribution and were building a rapport by going undercover. My cousin doesn't take his ATF badge with him when he's undercover because if anyone ever saw it, he could get shot. Anyway, some hot-headed black and white cops came over and started harassing them. My cousin couldn't blow his cover, but pretty soon the police started getting physical and they beat the crap out of my cousin and the guys he was trying to get evidence from. He had to take on the beating just to keep his cover. Afterward, they take them all into the police station, only to find out that my cousin is ATF. My cousin was pissed because cops aren't supposed to beat people up. Shortly after filed a lawsuit against those two police officers who didn't even attend the court. The people my cousin was investigating for the alcohol distribution came through as witnesses and those cops got terminated from the police department and had to pay compensation plus 2 years of community service. What small decision got traction and changed your life? My wife used to work in the film industry and recently got an email from her old colleagues the day we returned home from our honeymoon, asking if she wanted to star in a short film they were doing for fun. She said sure and asked if I could come along, as she knew I had an interest in movies. But at the time I worked in a life insurance agency and was somewhat miserable. It was more than an interest. I had always wanted to film stuff but never made the right connections with people and didn't know where to start. I made friends with the producer of that short film my wife was in, and 11 years later, filmmaking and video production is my career. I've shot feature films, short films, videos for TV and web, and all over the world because of that one email to my wife. It did change our lives. What's the worst lie you've ever been told? I was picking up a sofa from a guy I found on Facebook Marketplace, and he stopped me right before leaving to see if I wanted to buy a mirror he was also looking to get rid of. I wasn't really interested, but my wife seemed keen, so he stopped in the hallway to check it out. He said, "It was a gift from my son-in-law. It's a beautiful mid-century antique. I'll let it go for $75. He went on about what an amazing mirror it was, and even told me, "Pick it up and feel how sturdy it is." I picked it up. It was really heavy actually, and took a peek at the back and saw a sticker from Value Village with a $30 price tag. I have chuckled to myself and asked if he would go any lower than $75. He said I really couldn't. Then I said, "Well, I can see a tag from Value Village on the back here." We ended up getting the mid-century antique mirror for $15, and me and my wife still laugh about the amazing deal we got on it. What's the craziest thing you've discovered at work? An outgoing software dev put an Easter egg in our app before he left. Anyone who typed the word raptor in any text field would have a raptor from Jurassic Park fly across their screen with a loud screech. Only 3 of us on the team knew about it. Little over a year later, during a demo of our asset management module, a manager asked about inputting vehicles. The trainer asked what kind of vehicle he drove, an F-150 Raptor. So the trainer, as a demo, input the vehicle description and bam, comes screeching with this Raptor flying across the screen in a room of 50 people, including our CEO and most of our upper managers. My wife is one of those upper managers, so she sees me in the back of the room trying so hard not to laugh. She gave me this look like, "Really?" Our boss just calmly said, "Well, that's not a bug or a feature. Looks like we'll need to fix that." He had no idea. The next day he went back through the commits and saw where it originated. During an after-action meeting, he kept it low-key and just assigned it to me and this other dev who knew about it to take it out. What's the worst way you realized someone wasn't a true friend? After over 15 years of friendship, I announced to my best friend that I was moving to the city he was in. I had a great job opportunity and felt like it was an awesome time to make a big life change. I was so excited to tell him I could hardly wait. He flatly replied with, "Cool." For some reason I expected him to be excited that we would finally be back together and hang out from time to time, but it didn't feel that way. And when I asked him what parts of town I should look at to live, he stated, "I can't help you. You should just figure it out when you get here. I have my own life to take care of," and just went silent. We never had a fight, had been close for our entire adult lives, and I had continually helped him in all aspects of his life without hesitation. To this day, I cannot tell you why he started treating me this way. Long story short, we now live in the same city and haven't seen each other in 6 years, and I'm quite sure we live minutes away from each other. I will probably never know why. Who is the most clueless person you've ever met? I worked in a charity shop and a lady came to the counter with a top and asked if I could look in the back for one of the same color but a larger size. Tried to explain, "We don't do that because we're a charity shop and normally we don't have more of the same thing." She insisted that other shops, like H&M, have done that for her. Wouldn't take no for an answer, and at some point said that I either look in the back for the same top just one size bigger, or she will be speaking to the manager. Eventually, I just went in the back for a few minutes, made a cup of tea for a coworker, and came out saying we didn't have any remaining. She got mad at that too and said how could we run a clothing shop without offering a variety of a product. People who quit a job on their first day. Why? I had interviewed to work full time and they hired me as such. I was trying to quit a horrible job and this job was on the other end of town. I needed enough money for the bus pass and to make up the difference and more of quitting my old job. I'm a single mom and really needed that money. After they hired me, we talked and agreed on a schedule. They knew I was single mother and needed the full hours. I showed up for my first day, things were going well. Then my manager called me in, sat me down and explained that they'd have to cut me down to 15 hours a week because they'd hired too many people. I explained painfully that I had to take a bus an hour each way and wouldn't be able to pay rent or food after that. He said I could always hold out and hope people quit. I told him he could start with me, took off my apron and stormed out very disappointed and a bit of tears cause had to call my old boss to beg him to take me back cause I was screwed.